so rude, you know, but just so that they understand, and it's like setting boundaries really. So it's a process. It doesn't come overnight just because we've been conditioned, I feel, right?
Totally, exactly. And this stuff that I'm doing is like it's all learning stuff for me, but I think I took on too much of it all at once, you know?
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm
I
glad
can't.
to hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and one time at a time, right? Like I feel like we get to learn these things. Like I was journaling the other day and I was like writing in capital letters. I'm like, I've learned this so many times. Like, what? Like, why isn't it just landing? But you know, it's those nuances. It's like each time it's maybe a little bit deeper, just
Yeah.
surrender, ease and grace, ease and grace.
Yes. And that might have to do with your programming, like, you know, experiences from way back when, right?
Absolutely. Like, who knows what's at play under all
Absolutely.
this?
Yeah, especially if it's something that's reoccurring, it can have something to do with your program, and it could also be ancestral, family related. So,
Yeah. And I
yeah.
am really trying to tune into ancestral stuff right now. Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. Yeesh, guys.
Yeah.
So just to start, I'm not sure who else is able to join. I'll just check messages quick. I'm working with Easy Air this evening because we're going to talk about the breath. And I thought that was just so perfect. So I've got Easy Air in my diffuser. I would recommend anything light. So any of your lighter oils, uplifting like the lemon, you know, peppermint, Easy Air blend, anything kind of lighter, just to embrace the nature of our chat this evening, if that serves you. Let's check in here. Okay, no messages. So people will join as they wish if they can. So this is just lovely. I'm gonna get my diffuser nice and close here. Oh, beautiful. What are you folks sitting with tonight?
I have lemon in my water, and I have my candle going, and then I was diffusing. Is it Zan Quest or Zan Guest?
Zengest,
Oh,
yes.
thank you. Yeah, I had that going all day today.
That's so beautiful. That's really light as well.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm using the lavender.
Beautiful.
I just made that last night. Oh my God, I love it.
Okay, I'm really excited to dive into these pieces and to hear about your creations. Yeah, okay, so let's drop in to our space, and then let's chat about oils. Let's just start there because that's just so much fun. Okay, so we've arrived. We have our oils about, supported by the plants. All that it took for us to be here in this moment, we've made it. And so if it feels good for you, I invite you to close your eyes, or perhaps just have a downcast gaze. And bringing attention, awareness to your breath, and maybe you smell the medicine of the plants that surround you. Or anything else that's in the air for you in this moment. Just rooting into this present moment on the waves of your breath. And letting your breath carry with it an invitation of relaxation. Letting the breath move through your body and soften any tense, tight places. Bring light to any dense or dark places. And just notice a balance between your inhale and your exhale. A balance between your internal realm and your external realm. Inviting in that balance on the wave of your breath. And I invite you to bring a big smile to your face and to feel the energy of that smile and the energetic signature that it holds. Feel it moving through you. And maybe even invite the wave of your breath to carry that frequency through your body. And let yourself be filled with that uplifting sensation that comes when we smile, even when we're facing things that aren't so smiley. And just to remember that just even physiologically when we smile, we can alter our experience. And just letting that experience permeate through our being. And inviting a gratitude, a vibration of gratitude into your heart, and breathing into your heart. And gratitude to yourself for being here. For being curious. For being open. And for being willing. This work is not for everyone. And just really, really taking a moment to honor yourself for how you show up in this world. Letting that move through your being. You are magnificent. You are so valued. Just feeling that, really feeling that. Deepening your breath if it feels good for you. Feeling your belly expand. Breathing maybe even right into your root chakra. Connecting to Mama Earth, grounding into this moment. And exhaling, just letting it all go. Maybe even inviting a sigh or any sound. Inviting any movement to link to the breath as you feel serves you. Just landing back in the body, landing back here. We are here now. Whatever serves you, staying inside and just noticing. And there's absolutely no rush as you feel ready. Just gently blinking open your eyes and just noticing what's around you. Welcome to this space. Karen, welcome to the space. It's so beautiful that you're here. Amazing, amazing. Okay.
Karen.
Hello, everyone. The saga of my technical issues continued, but I persevered. So I'm here.
Oh, so grateful that you persevered. Thank you. We're going to start with a chat about essential oils. So I just want, in case you want to stay unmuted. But actually, just quickly before we dive into that, I will share. I'm just going to grab our candle. So our candle, just to hold us in this space. I don't have any space to put it. It's getting used up, friends. We're getting a lot of use out of this. Can we see it? Yes, we can. Okay. So just quickly to touch on our assumptions and agreements before we dive in. Just a reminder that we just share these to create our culture and to remember why we're here, that this is important work, and we do this for ourselves, we do this for the collective. So the assumptions are things that I hold space with. You do not need to agree with these things. So the assumptions, number one, there is no neutral. We live in a dominant, and I name that as white supremacist culture, which conditions us to not see its toxicity and instead normalizes what is absurd. And this causes trauma. White supremacy is the antithesis of love. So through our self-love work, we're actually dismantling this culture that holds us in a state of unhealing. Love to me equals radical self-care plus radical collective care. The third assumption is that we are interconnected and our well-being is bound. So when one of us is not well, we are all not well. But also, when we heal ourselves, we can heal the collective. We are all sovereign beings with the ability to embody radical self-love and radical responsibility. I do not heal anyone. I hold space for healing. And I move in this space with the assumption that there is a power greater than ourselves, a creative force that we can all use different names to describe. And what we put in, we stand to gain, and what we do not, we do stand to lose. Now, the following agreements are things that we all do adhere to maintain the sacredness of this space. So mutual responsibility to hold the sacredness of this space, confidentiality, and everything that's seen here and said here does stay here. Being willing to do things differently and experience discomfort. It's part of our growth. And so we embrace that here. This is a brave space. We also really, really encourage each other to move in and take space. Speak, let yourself be heard, let yourself be witnessed and held. And then also, please do hold space and witness others and allow them to move in and to hold that space for them. We embrace non-closure. When we leave our sessions with more questions than we have answers, that means it's good. That means that we get to try new things, we get to learn. We honor our body's wisdom always over anything else. Our body does know best. We get to learn to ride the line between ego and intuition. And clear communication. We all agree to speak with me and to clearly communicate what I can do to serve you best in this space. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, Leanne.
I have a question about something.
Please.
Okay, when the thing about what we put into this is what we get out, that brings up because I know that I've been so spread so thin lately, I feel like I'm not putting as much as I need to put into really anything right now, and that I'm obviously I know that needs to change. That brings up so much guilt, like it makes me feel like, oh shit, now I just screwed my last 5 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
I feel you. I feel you. Do you want me to would it be of service for me to comment?
Yes, please.
I feel as though I really appreciate you naming that, because I don't want to trigger anyone. And also, I think that is an important thing to name for those who are not wanting to show up, because it allows that to be named in the space. Personally, I don't feel as though that is you. Personally, I feel as though we've all had a situation where we've bit off more than we can chew, and it doesn't mean that we're not putting in what we've got. You very well, and only you know this, you very well may be putting in all that you've got. You very well may be doing like the entirety of the best that you can do right now. And that is exactly what this says. You're putting in everything that you can, and you stand to gain from this. Like, that's what you stand to gain. And even saying a sacred no, and I think that maybe that's something that I can add as just like a little thing to say, is noticing the difference between not putting in due to fear and not putting in due to a sacred no. Like, if there's only we've gone through energy as a resource, right? Like, we've only got so much energy that we can devote. It's a limited resource. And so if you're saying a sacred no to, say, for example, like a Friday practice in Sikh Sanctuary because it doesn't serve you, I think you are gaining from that experience. Personally, I think you gain the practice of discernment with what actually serves you. Knowing full well that these practices are available to you, that the content's not going anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. Maybe there's honestly things that are higher on the pecking line that do have an expiry date. Maybe.
True.
How is that feeling?
It feels really good, actually. And because I feel like everything that I'm doing right now is so in service of myself and so in service of supporting others as well, that it's like that when you said that, that it might be like you are doing the other stuff and that might be in a higher pecking order, that totally resonates. Yeah, and that makes me feel a lot better, because I can easily go to that place where it's like, I should be able to do this, this, and this, and right now my chunks just feel full, So thanks.
Yeah, practicing a sacred no is honestly such a skill. And even just being able to notice, like, okay, my plate's kind of overfull right now, like, even that is a lesson. Like, everything is a lesson. And I feel like that assumption that I name is about when we don't take our experiences as lessons, that we're just letting those experiences pass by without actually gleaning the gems from them, even if it's not like what we think it's supposed to look like. That's just BS. All the shoulds, all the supposed to's.
That was really nicely put. That holds true for sure. Yeah.
Good. And going forwards, I'm gonna mention the piece about a sacred no, because that's actually written in our document in the group, is that does not apply to a sacred no, and that we get to make that discernment and that distinction. And so I'll mention that when we meet as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I talk to this as well? Just
Yes.
because I have felt, and even this week, I think I said it in my video that I posted, that I just done day one of the rise and ritual, and so I just wanted to, as someone who is also, I really noticed with Tara that her programs are put together in such a beautiful, forgiving, and empowering way, in the fact that it's laid out so nice. Like, I don't know the big picture that's going on, but I'm starting to see it unfolding, and I'm seeing how each week is just brings into the next one, and that you're not behind. It's all creating one big picture, right? So just yeah, so I really noticed that when I thought I was getting behind, and then I was able to spend some time, and I was like, wait a second, like, I see what's going on here. Okay, I can add this extra layer right here now, right? So, and I've heard Tara say it before, your timing is perfect, you know? So, so I just want to thank you, Tara, for the way you lay this out, that it is very accessible. I learned that, and which is why I was very eager to do this, is because when we did the 5-day, I saw how you laid that out, and I was like, it's always there. It's always there to go back to. So thank you very much. And thank you for bringing that up, Leanne. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, that resonates too, because it's like, it's very true. There's only 2 places in my existence that I can recall where I can show up and knowing that and I guess that's part of it. Like there's always this sense of, in the out there world, of being on guard, you know, and having to defend. And this place and my NLP Marin community are the only places that I go where I feel like I can show up and I'm safe, you know, which is so exhilarating and so nice. So thank you.
And that's a group effort, you know. That's everyone building that. And so just really honoring everyone in this space for creating this, because one of us alone doesn't do that, right? Like, it's community, and it's us being there for each other, and so just deep gratitude to each of you. This is just beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much for asking that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So let's keep chatting. Like, I'd love to open the floor. Firstly, I'd love to focus on just a touch base on essential oils. How are we doing with the medicine? How are we working with it? What kinds of relationships are we building? What's kind of something that you've got down? What's something that you're still unsure on? Just, you know, let's just chat it out. I'd love to hear if you've made anything. I'd love to hear about kind of blends. I know, Karen, you've made a blend. Sheila, I think you've been playing. I would just love to hear things. So just dive in.
Yeah, I started blending last night, actually. So I was actually kind of nervous. I don't even know why. But when I chatted with you, Tara, I liked the idea of just working with the plant medicine one-on-one to build that relationship, and that really resonated with me. And in order for me to really appreciate and understand the medicine, I need to work with it one-on-one before I start blending. I mean, I might start blending, but for now, this is what feels right for me, just working with it one-on-one. So I did a little bit of research on the doTERRA package that I have. And one of the things an issue I've been having right now is sleep and the quality of sleep. So I'm really excited about using the lavender oil at night, in the evening, just to kind of unwind and just relax and create a routine, like a bedtime routine. Nice. Because, you know, that just really affects my whole day when I just don't get the proper sleep. And even this whole idea of creating a morning ritual, I can't make it happen when I don't have the right amount of sleep. So it kind of starts from there for me. And I guess that works for everybody. You have to have the good night's rest before you kind of have a good, solid beginning of the day. So I'm really excited about working with that. So what I did was I just created a label with the expiry date, because I'm kind of like, I always wonder, I'm like, when things expire, it's just like, I guess I've worked with other oils in the past, and you just never know until you actually put it on your skin. You're like, okay, this is expired. I just don't want to have that moment. And I see the number on there and I'm good with that. So that's just kind of a thing that I'm doing. And then the other 2 I've created was frankincense and that smells beautiful. So I've mixed that with jojoba oil, and that's more for grounding, I feel, for me. And the other one is the digestive one. This one is the Zen Jest. Yeah. So this one I'm just going to be rubbing on my tummy for digestion. So these are the 3 I'm working with so far, and then peppermint, of course. And then I've got the rolly ball things. So
Are they all each in the rollers?
yes.
Cool.
I've got some dropper ones too, but I like the convenience of the roller balls. It's just quick and simple and easy. So I think I'm gonna get more of these and work with that. So yeah, there you go.
Amazing. You know, and if you could, I'm not sure if any of us will be looking for aromatherapy stuff, but if you find that you like those particular roller bottles, like they don't leak, I've got leaking ones, etc. If you find that you like them and you'd be willing to post the link where you purchase them into the group, that'd be super cool.
Absolutely. Let me test them out for the next little bit here, but so far so good.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. That sounds really amazing.
Yeah, so I have been, and I was using doTERRA for probably a month or so in the new year, and then I just stopped using it for a bit. I honestly just had them and didn't really know what to do with them. So, but one thing that I did have was that I did know what to do with was the On Guard concentrate. Oh my goodness. Like, so it comes in this bottle, and then you can add it to your dishwater. You can add it to a spray bottle and spray it around the house and clean everything. And it is amazing. It is, everything smells so good. It really actually feels like a ritual when I'm cleaning. Like, I am so happy cleaning. I'm just like, la, 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 you know, wiping everything down. And there's something about it that, like, you know, when you're cleaning and sometimes you got to go over it a couple times, like you don't with this stuff. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm definitely a big fan of that. And so I got the laundry detergent as well. So we've put it through a couple loads, and it's amazing. My actual washing machine was getting like that kind of mildewy smell. And I did one load with On Guard, and the washing machine got cleaned. Like, it smells amazing. The rubber, everything. Like, I didn't expect that. That was like really, really cool. So just to know that, you know, like, it's like this beautiful plant medicine going into the whole family's laundry, and it smells like, to me, it smells like Christmas. I love it. It's just like, you know, like holidays and stuff, right? So it's beautiful. So that, as well as cypress, I put in my diffuser, I think it was yesterday morning, and just a beautiful morning kind of uplift. Really, really liked that. So it'll definitely be another one that I'm using. Yeah, so that's about it, I think.
And your beautiful practice roller bottle, that with the frankincense and bergamot.
Yeah. So I because I was making the roller bottle, I wanted to put in you know, I'm going and I'm making it, so I was like, oh, I want to like mix something. So I did end up putting the high note and then the low note in. So the bergamot is the high, and then the frankincense is the low, and I really like it. It's just like, yeah, just this bright frankincense that also really grounds you. So I really like it. And then one for my husband as well, and he's been carrying it around in his pocket, and it's bergamot, ylang ylang, and vetiver. So I actually had been thinking about this blend for quite a while before I made it. He struggles with low energy and a bit of depression, so he's been loving it. So, and yeah, I'm not really a gift giver. So, and he's good with that. We're not gift kind of like our love language. So he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, you gave me a gift." And so it was like the cutest thing because I was like, "It is a gift. It's a gift." So that was lovely. Actually, the shirt I'm wearing, I have to say it was the first gift he ever gave me, and you can see the sleeve is ripped. Show my bicep. But he gave it to me because he made these shirts. He made a whole bunch of shirts and used to sell them at festivals. And so when he gave it to me, he didn't know the sleeve was ripped. And so now I'm like, I don't care. I love it. So I just wear it all the time. I'm like, shows off my bicep. So anyway, a gift is a beautiful gift. I love it.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing the shirt. Yeah. That's epic.
It looks so cute, Karen.
Thanks.
You should do the other sleeve now.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but I kind of like the mismatch.
Yeah.
Right? We're like, something's up with that? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. Fashion statement.
Yeah. He's made a bunch of shirts and used to sell them at festivals. So this one was Hippie Hunter, and then there's one that said, I think it's what would Ganesh do? And they're really good. Yeah. But anyway,
that's really nice. I really like that, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
No, thank you. I was going to ask you, what is the On Guard spray and stuff? Is that online? Is that on the website then?
Yeah, so it's on the website as well. And like, I don't buy dish soap anymore. I don't buy anything. You don't, like, I clean my windows with it, and you just, like, it's amazing. Just water and On Guard. So it's a concentrate. So just like you would put like a cleaning solution in water. So you do like 2 capfuls I do a bucket, and when I wipe my windows, like, it's unbelievable. It's amazing. Like, everything, I've never seen things like clean like this. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, big fan of it.
Well, thank you. I'm going to look into that. I need something like that. Yeah. That's wonderful.
I love how it's like multiple uses, right? Like, you don't have to buy Windex and all-purpose cleaner and this and this and this. It's like one thing does it all.
I know. It's like, why do we think that we need all these cleaners just to clean, right? Like, it's, one thing will do it all.
And I drop On Guard onto my dryer balls. So I bought little wool dryer balls, but I think actually doTERRA even sells dryer balls, if I'm not mistaken. But I put little drops on my dryer balls, and it makes all my stuff smell like Christmas. So that's I feel you.
I've been putting tea tree. My husband does our tea tree in our laundry, and he always has, but I put it on our dryer balls as well just recently, because I was trying to clean these pillows and stuff like that and fluff them up. So, but they smell so good.
Yes. Yeah. Dryer balls are a game changer.
Oh,
they're new for me, and I'm just like, where has this been my whole life?
Yeah, totally, right? I was going to tell you, I tried you had mentioned the oregano in all your cooking, so I've been doing that. It's so good. It's really good in spaghetti sauce. Yeah.
Yes.
So we did that, and then I've been drinking my favorite's the lemon. And then I've been doing the peppermint, and the peppermint and the lavender are really nice on a hot day. Yeah, so they've been wonderful.
Beautiful. Do you find that you're drinking more water? Do you notice?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh,
yes. Good. Lots more water, which means lots more bathroom breaks.
Lots more detox.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. Yeah. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you all for sharing. This is beautiful. And, as we discover, little things, just feel free to drop them in the group, or we can chat. We can even just, like, there will always be this open space when we gather, right? So, if somebody feels like a burning desire, like, I really got to share this win, or actually I really got to share this confusion, so that, like, we can help, because we've got a lot of combined experience here. You know, everyone's trying different things. So yeah. Anything else? Any other burning desires to share on the essential oil biz? Karen's just busy mixing stuff up as we speak. It's amazing.
Well, I have peppermint in my water now, and I've actually never drank lavender before. So I was like, oh, I got to try it. And then I keep doing it, and then my bottle's empty. So we use it a lot for like sleeping. Like I'll put it in a water bottle and spray the pillows like a few hours before bed, so that
Good one. Good
right.
tip.
But
Epic. Oh, beautiful. That's a good tip as well. A nice little linen spray for before bed. Beautiful. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing. I'd like to keep the discussion open just to touch on movement. So last week we continued our work diving into movement and, you know, discussing beginner's mind, right? So we all perhaps feel we know how to move, but really just coming in with this open, clean slate and just saying, okay, what can I learn? Because these are these fundamental pieces, right? Like movement, breath, meditation. They're these fundamental pieces that we may feel like we understand, but there's always room to have a deeper relationship with these foundations. So we talked about beginner's mind. We also talked about motivation behind our practice. These three impure motives, and impure doesn't mean anything other than inefficient motives for our practice, and how we can work to kind of shift them. And it's not that it's wrong, it's just that it's inefficient, and we might as well shift them so that we can progress. And then we explored what movement meant to us. There was a lot of opportunity to explore movement this last week, lots of different options. Maybe we chose to change it up or stick with the same things. We also did have a group asana practice on Friday, which you can revisit at any time. Like it's there, right? And yeah, so I'd love to just hear about movement. What's present for everyone?
I'm really eager to, because I don't know anything about these two, but they're on my radar to look up Tai Chi and Qigong. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Qigong?
Qigong, I think.
Qigong. So yeah, I tried, which I posted my video about the tremor.
Yes.
Which was, oh my goodness, absolutely amazing. The shake one. And yeah, I can see myself using that a lot. I find it's just a great, like that muscle contraction, tightening and contracting and shaking small, shaking big. And just letting it kind of go like a wave through your body is very healing. It's very releasing. I felt really good after that. And so yeah, so that's just next on my radar is the Tai Chi and the Qigong. So I'm definitely over the next couple weeks going to make sure that's integrated in there somewhere. But I believe they're pretty big practices. So just kind of how to dabble into that.
Yeah, one thing at a time. There's lots of YouTube videos on it, and there's a link in the workbook to a website. I think it's like the reference, like source at the bottom of the page for Qigong, and it's like the website is like really not user friendly. Like there's a lot of text all over the place, but they've got what looked like good resources in there as well.
Okay.
So could be a good place to start as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. I really want to get into that too.
Yeah, I watched a group of people do it just at an event once, and it just looked so beautiful and so like amazing. Yeah. So be worth a try for sure.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead. So in regards to movement, I actually have an injury on my right leg. So I think Kieran kind of has helped me with a little bit of this in terms of what direction to go in terms of movement, because I feel like regular yoga is a little too much for me. I can do some of the postures, but sometimes I feel it afterwards, and it's always scary for me because it might get worse, the pain. So I just have to be mindful of that and finding alternative things for me that's going to work for me, and so I can get stronger and then do the other types of yoga. So I think I might do that, but for now I'm still kind of moving my body. I'm just doing like light stretches, like really simple yoga postures. So I am doing like a 15-minute meditation, kind of getting myself in the mindset. And then once I do my meditation, I kind of get into the habit of moving my body. So I haven't set it up as a morning ritual just because I'm kind of working with the sleep bit still. So that's going to be a process for me. So I have built this practice for the afternoon for me, and that's kind of working for me. So that's kind of a work in progress for me right now. And I feel that is working for me because meditation I'm doing is actually a guided meditation. And one of the intentions that I had was to kind of lose weight. And I'm really picky on guided meditations based on someone's voice and what they say. And it's funny, I just found this like the first video and I was like, wow, I love her. And it's a good 15-minute, it's not long, it's just to the point, and I feel like I'm changing because my habits are changing now, which is really nice because I feel and see the product and the final result, and that's really exciting for me. So yeah, thanks, Karen. I'm gonna try that. I like that. I'm gonna YouTube that actually.
Yeah, the qigong I think is particularly gentle. Yeah, if I understand correctly, and Tai Chi can get more energetic. Thank you so much for sharing.
With regards to movement, I didn't watch that one on Friday, so I didn't really do anything different than I normally do. But I do recall when we did the 5 days, Angela had brought up the Qigong. What's it called?
Qigong.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and I'm always like, I love my movements. I can be like, I want to get things done. And so for me, it really forced me to slow down, and it was so difficult at first, but once I did, it was really amazing. So I definitely want to try that. And one of the groups that I belong to, they do a Pilates, and I haven't tried it because it kind of like, I'm used to strength, I'm used to running, so slowing my body down and doing yoga and stuff like that is definitely a struggle. So I'd like to try that with yoga as well. So I'll keep you posted.
Yay, please do. And thank you so much for that reminder. I'll go fish out that link that Angela shared from Tap-In, and I'll pop it in our group.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so short. I think it was like 12 minutes. It was just magnificent.
Yeah. Okay, I'll grab that for us. Thank you for that reminder. That's brilliant.
My pleasure.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. And we just get to start kind of adding layers. And what's interesting, so this week we're talking about the breath. Next week we talk about meditation. And the truth is, just as we kind of touched on this when we were talking about the 8 limbs of yoga, they're not distinct, right? Like they all overlap. So in movement, in Qigong, in asana, we're working with the breath, right? And we're also trying to bring the mind to the present moment in a form of meditation. So just wanting to take a moment just to acknowledge that these pieces really, really do overlap, and they're not isolated. So we get to start to kind of make little connections here and there that as they serve us. So with that being said, let's dive into this content now. I posted a video just really briefly touching on some of these pieces this morning, just on my page. But I'd like to just touch on proper ways to sit during meditation and breathing, because posture does make a difference. And we take what we can, we take what serves us in each moment, and sometimes we work towards different pieces. But proper sitting posture supports a practice significantly. And so there's two kind of main ways to sit in a meditation or a breathing practice that is still. And that's either sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground directly. And so when we're seated in a chair, ideally you can pick a chair either that you can adjust the height of, or that the height is such that your feet are flat on the ground, your knees are at a 90-degree angle, and your hips to legs are at a 90-degree angle. So you start to kind of create these little steps with your body. So that's if you're sitting in a chair. If you're sitting on the floor, firstly, it's really nice to have something to sit on. So Karen, that chip foam block, that we had discussed on Friday, a thin block. I'm sitting on a bolster that's really flattened on one end because I always sit on it. But so what I do is I tuck it, and essentially the flesh of my bum sits on the bolster, and then my bones ride forward, and it actually tilts my pelvis forward, which makes it easier for my spine to be straight. So that's number one if you're sitting on the floor. Number two, if you're sitting on the floor, if your knee, you don't have to be in lotus or half lotus or any of these fancy things. Just however your legs cross, that's comfortable is perfect. Just notice if your knees are touching the ground. If they are not, you'll want to put something under your knees for support, so that you're sitting in, so that it's comfortable. Because if you're breathing or you're meditating, you want to be focused on that. You don't want to be focused on discomfort in the body. So you're essentially just trying to give yourself the best chance possible to sit in a productive practice. So having support under your knees will help that. If they don't touch the ground, they're flying, it's called. If your knees are flying, just putting support under there. And the truth be told, the whole point of asana, the whole point in Ashtanga yoga, the yoga that we've talked about with these 8 limbs, the whole point of asana is to be able to sit comfortably in stillness. That's the whole point. It's not anything else. It's to actually be able to sit comfortably in stillness so that we can meditate. So that's the point of the movement practice in that particular tradition, is just to simply strengthen the body, flex the body such that we can sit in stillness. So if you notice, as you have any type of physical practice, movement practice, whatever is serving you, as you notice, you become more flexible, maybe your joints become more flexible. Sitting on the ground or even sitting on a chair but being still becomes easier. So this is the point, and that's why we touch on movement, and then now we're gonna touch on actually starting to be a bit still. And that's why the limbs of yoga are not, again, they're not in their own little silos. However, they do come in a particular order for a particular reason, and we can jump between one to each because we're always doing that, right? We're breathing during movement, breath comes after in the limbs, but we also acknowledge that there's a reason for the order. So we've kind of got from hips down now in terms of sitting. In terms of our spinal posture, I love to use the word elongation, because we don't want to sit up tall and be all rigid. We want to just elongate the spine. And so the way I use personally is a visualization of a golden thread that, or whatever color thread suits you, that starts at my tail, like my root chakra, and goes right up the center of my spine, right through the back of my neck, through the back of my head, up through my crown. And I just picture someone pulling on it, and I naturally elongate, my chin naturally tucks slightly, my ears naturally move back slightly, just to be kind of in line over my shoulders. But it all, like, I don't put my chin down and push my head back. Like, I just picture the elongation of my spine, maybe even like picturing little air bubbles in between each vertebra, and just picturing this elongation, and then just letting that be. And just practicing sitting in this posture, and then noticing when you fall out, because, you know, we slump and we whatever. And sometimes we need to kind of rock back and forth or side to side to kind of settle into sitting. But just letting the spine elongate, and the head just kind of floats like a little lotus flower over top of the spine. And so just sometimes we get to kind of feel into it. And then when we find our steady point, this equilibrium point, then that's when we can start our practice. And this should allow for least distraction coming from our physical body. Now, in terms of facial relaxation, like, I really want to touch on this, because we carry so much tension in our face that is completely surprising to me whenever I actually bring my awareness to how much tension I hold in my face. So when you come to sit, if you'd like to go through these pieces, like check in on my feet, knees, hips, elongate spine, just check that the neck isn't rigid, that your head's floating, and then do a facial scan if that serves you, and literally just imagine, you know, all the muscles in your forehead, around your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. I've been doing jaw massage, and this would be lovely with essential oils, by the way, to loosen up this joint, because it's amazing. And if I clench at night, like, if you've got any kind of clenching or grinding that you do on top of just regular carrying of tension, like, it's really nice to massage, and then just to also actively relax the facial muscles before you move into practice. There's a really good chance you'll regain some of that tension, but it's just another thing to notice, and then to just actively relax again. So yeah, just, and like the scalp, the ears, just any head tension is a really beautiful thing to also pay attention to in terms of your posture. Because when we start to bring our attention to these pieces now and build these habits, it can actually really facilitate like a deeper practice when we're just more relaxed. So, and please always dive in with questions. So, all of that being said, let's talk a little bit about breathing. So pranayama, the fourth limb of yoga as described by Patanjali. And pranayama references the control or regulation of our breath. And prana, this life force energy, it's what everything is made up of, prana. And so it's like this prana control, like we're using our breath to regulate our energy, our life force energy in our body, and external to us, because as within, so without, right? But we start within. And so when we inhale, there's kind of four pieces. So we inhale, and then we can retain on the inhale. We exhale, and we can retain on the exhale. So there's these kind of 4 opportunities to play with breath, not only the active inhale, the active exhale, but also breath retention. Now, this is something that we do need to be aware of based on our own bodies and contraindications associated with different kinds of breathing styles. Because now it starts to, you know, we just get to pay attention to how, like, just with movement, it's exactly the same as with movement. Some things aren't accessible to us based on our ability in our body. Well, also our ability in our body will affect the way we can do some breathing techniques. And also bodily circumstances. If you're pregnant or think you might be pregnant, there's certain things that we don't want to do based on that bodily status. So this is something that we get to pay attention to. But ultimately, regardless of what style of breathing we do, it can be the simplest, it can be the most complex. Ultimately, our breath and our mind align. So when we slow our breath, we slow our mind. If we're looking for a pick-me-up, if we're groggy and we do some rapid breathing that is like done with intention, not hyperventilating, but we actually employ a pranayama breathing technique to enhance our energy, our mind will be revitalized as well. So it goes both ways. And so in the workbook, and I did post it a little bit early, but I neglected to say why. If you wanted to open up the workbook, I didn't know whether you'd like to go through each of the breathing styles described, because sometimes it's easier to know what they feel like, look like in person. You can think on that, let that sit for a moment. Regardless of breathing technique, I do recommend breathing through the nose as a way just to create this habit, if you don't already have it in place, because nasal breathing, it cleanses and warms the air before it hits our lungs. So when we breathe deep gulps of air in through our mouth, there isn't as much filtration, there isn't as much time and space before it hits our lungs. And so just breathing through the nose outside of you know, this type of work, just like if it's cold outside, it's really good for your body to breathe through your nose. So just developing that as a practice in your movement, in your breath work, pranayama, during meditation, if you can start to cultivate a practice breathing through your nose, that will be of benefit to you. So in the workbook, I've got quite a few different breathing techniques that are outlined. If you'd like, I can touch on each of them if that would be of value to you. How do we feel about that? There's, I should tell you how many there are, and I don't know, so I'm just going to count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6. And I can also go through like the 3 most complicated as well. It just depends on our timing and how everyone's, what everyone would like. What would we like? Karen, is that a go through them all? Yeah, Leanne too?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I think you can hear me. I forget sometimes.
No problem. Sheila, how are you for time?
I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well then let's touch on them. Essentially they go from least to most complex, in my opinion, but different things are different for different people. So the first one outlined is simple yogic breathing, and essentially it's just imagining that there are 2 chambers, 2 pots in our body. The first one is our belly, our lower body, everything below the diaphragm. And the second chamber, the upper chamber or pot, is everything above the diaphragm. And so simple yogic breathing is simply breathing into the belly and the low back first, and then expanding into your upper pot, your chest, your shoulders, your shoulder blades, like this whole front and back area. So why don't we just take a moment and just, I honestly recommend using your hands and placing them on your body. That's how I feel that I'm breathing into these spaces. Maybe that doesn't serve you, but I'll just toss that out there as an option for you. So as you're ready, just starting with an exhale and then inhaling into your belly and feeling your low back expand. And then as it's full, moving up into the chest, and you start to feel your chest expand and your upper back expand. Pausing slightly, and then you exhale in the same way. So you exhale first the upper pot, that upper chamber, and then you exhale through the belly, through the low back. And that's literally the pattern. And you'll notice it takes a little bit, but then you'll start to get into a rhythm. And it's just this two-chambered idea. And I do recommend, as you get into your rhythm, noticing the timing. Like, notice how long it takes to fill the belly, like a count of 3 or a count of whatever. And then, you know, trying to make your upper pot fill at that same rate. So maybe it's a count of 3 for the belly, a count of 3 for the chest, a slight pause, a count of 3, exhale for the chest, a count of 3, exhale for the belly. And so we're trying to create these even waves of the breath, because remembering that if our breath is all over the place, so too will be our mind. So introducing, as it comes to us, introducing some evenness. And then as you continue to practice, noticing when your breaths get longer, becomes a count of 4 and 4, 5 and 5. You know, some of these yogis, these super intense people, they breathe like once a minute. Like, so like it's this idea of, there was this theory, and I can't remember who said it, but you've got a certain number of breaths that are allotted to you in your life. And so the less you breathe, the longer your life. If anyone knows where that's from, let me know. I'm going to have to do a Google on that, because I think I heard it from Ram Dass, but I don't think it was him. I think he was referencing someone. So yes, this idea of slowing the breath, but this all comes with time. So we just notice where we are first. So that's simple yogic breathing. Full yogic breathing is actually taking the 2 chambers and making 3. So we've got our low belly, which for me, when I visualize it, it's the same. My lower pot, that lower chamber, doesn't change for me, but this upper chamber is split into 2. So it becomes kind of right below my heart and right above my heart. And so then we do the same process. We're breathing into the belly, breathing into the lower chest, and then breathing into our upper chest. So just feeling free to just give that a try and just notice the difference. And then reversing or exhaling in that same way. And in terms of the hands on the body, I was just at an event in Vancouver the other day, and a beautiful person, Karen, you know, Abneet, she suggested one hand on the belly, one hand on the lower, just space just below the heart, and an imaginary hand on your clavicle area. So you've still got an energetic hand there to feel the rise of that top chamber. I thought that was extremely beautiful. So that's full credit to Abneet for that one. So that's a full yogic breath. And it's basic, and it's also extremely profound. We don't need to get complicated about these things. And I just really want to emphasize that. It doesn't need to be complex.
Tara, I just want to ask you something.
Please.
When you say creating evenness of breathing, so I'm going to guess, like, for example, 3 to 5 seconds in and the same amount of seconds breathing out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What exactly does that do other than balance? Is it just to have balance?
Yeah, so it's not necessary. eventually that's what we work towards, is the balance of the inhale and the exhale. And it's not always accessible at the beginning, or in general. Like my exhales are often much longer naturally than my inhales. When I started to count my natural breathing, my exhales are a lot longer, just standard. So it's just the awareness and just lengthening the inhale for me so that they matched, simply for balance.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And I'm so sure that there are benefits to different styles of breathing. So when you have a 2-count inhale and a 4-count exhale, I am so sure that there's physiological benefits to things like that as well. So this is not like you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
This is just in terms of this breathing style, this particular breath, that's what's recommended to get to, like, to go to at some point. But yeah, I'm sure that there's benefits to different counts.
Can I add a little layer to
Please.
something that I've done some quite a bit of breathwork sessions with a breathwork practitioner, and so she talked about when you're doing the even breaths in as they are out. It could also, you know, in our life be thought of as we're evenly open to receiving as we are to releasing, right? So if you're in that place where you want to create balance within receiving and releasing, then that's just kind of a thought on that. But it does strike my curiosity as to other benefits of maybe needing to receive more at some point in your life than like to switch it. So I found that I was doing a lot of exhale for longer, and that could be a lot of like releasing or giving even, right? A lot of giving. So then, okay, wait, I want to be more open to receiving, take in that beautiful oxygen, you know, do a more lengthy inhale. So that's kind of how it was explained to me there.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's absolutely beautiful. I like just, yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The medicine of oxygen, right? Like, yeah. So take in that medicine and release as well. Release it to the world.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you. So the next technique is Ujjayi breathing, and this is also known as ocean's breath. It's essentially an audible breath. That's what's different about it. It's just audible, and so this essentially what we do. So if you have fogged up a mirror before, or if you've cleaned your glasses before, and you go. Let's just all do that together. So if we exhale, and then we inhale. And it doesn't have to be forced, just like that. Now let's do it again. And halfway through, just close your mouth. But keep that same. And essentially, you should be able to hear your exhale. So if we inhale through the nose. And then, so what we get to do is then actually do the same thing on the inhale. So we have that same slight constriction to the throat. And we inhale. And then you exhale. And you should just be able to hear them, and it might even sound like the waves of an ocean, ebbing and flowing. And this sound has so many beautiful physiological benefits. The most prominent to me of which is that it calms our nervous system. So just that sound can relax our nervous system. And so if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, even if you can't slow down your breathing, but even if you just can create that sound, it will help. And this is a very common pranayama technique that's used during movement, during meditation, because it's not really, we're not even focusing really on inhale and exhale length at this point. We're just listening to our breath. We can hear our breath.
Sorry, Tara, what's that called again?
Ujjayi. It's Ujjayi. Ujjayi. Also known as ocean's breath. And know that this is in your workbook too.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, oftentimes it's referred to as ocean's breath. So if you hear that, that's what it's talking about.
That was the most beautiful description of that. I've struggled with it because we use it in our Ashtanga yoga class, and I've never heard it broken down like that. Thank you. That was a beautiful description. Yes.
So glad. I'm so glad. That's perfect. It's very prominent in Ashtanga yoga. Yeah. Yeah. So the next one, we're getting a little bit rigorous. So this one I prefer to perform in rock pose or sitting on my heels, also known as hero's pose. This hurts me and my knees. So I take a bolster and I place it in between my heels and my hips. Maybe just, so I'm kind of sitting on it like this, right? So that's just me because it hurts my knees to sit like this and my heels. My knees I do actually also keep slightly apart as well. And so Kapalabhati breathing is not one to do if you are pregnant or you think that you are pregnant or you could be pregnant. Essentially, it is rapid. I should actually face this way. It's rapid, rapid exhales, rapid, oh goodness gracious, I'm at a loss for words here. Let me just stop. Pulsing of the diaphragm, rapid pulsing of the diaphragm. So, and it's done completely through the nose. And with Kapalabhati breathing, also called breath of fire or skull shining breath, we don't focus at all on the inhale. The inhale comes completely naturally. You don't have to worry about it. It happens. We focus solely our attention on the exhale, which is just the pulsing of the diaphragm. So I'll do 11 because that just feels right now. So, and I'll try to make it, I'll go like this. So I don't know if you can, this isn't really helpful, but so, okay, so to begin, I exhale and then inhale just half of, I don't do a full inhale. And you'll see why when you start to play around. Someone say something? No? Okay. You'll see why when you start to play around. So we just do a half inhale and then we begin. So I'm going to exhale. Inhale half. I wasn't counting. But that was actually too fast for me. Like that, I couldn't sustain that. So that was way too fast for me. I should be doing more like, that's more sustainable for me. Could you hear my exhale? Perfect. Yeah, so if you want to just give it a try, if this is something that is accessible for your body and right for your body right now, you're welcome to give it a try. It's not easy if you have a full stomach. And so just notice what's present for you. And if you'd like to give it a try, I do, again, put my hand on my diaphragm. Exhale completely. Inhale just half. And then just play. It doesn't have to be even, just play. And just noticing what it feels like to, and noticing how the inhale is automatic because as you let your diaphragm go, it creates a vacuum in your lungs. So you automatically inhale, and then just pulsing your diaphragm to exhale.
So are you exhaling out your nose or your mouth?
All nose.
All nose.
Yeah,
Okay.
all nose. Mouth is completely closed. And that's a really brilliant question, because if we were breathing through our mouth, we'd end up hyperventilating, right? Because it'd be like,
Oh.
right? But when we breathe through our nose, we're not able to pant through our mouth. Through our nose. So when we breathe through our nose, we're just focusing on these short and sharp exhales. The inhale comes naturally through the nose, and we're not hyperventilating. If you feel like you're hyperventilating, then you're actively inhaling, and then it's just time to stop, because this isn't serving you at this time. It should not be hyperventilating. It shouldn't feel like that. And you'll notice the difference in your mind when you hyperventilate versus when you do a breath of fire. Very different. Because when I hyperventilate, my brain goes like, "Whoa!" But when I do breath of fire, my brain is on. It's like energizing, but it's not scattered. It's very on point. How's that? Questions? We get to play. This is definitely not, we get to play. Beautiful. Okay, I think there's just one more I want to touch on. Oh, excuse me, two more. So second last one is Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. Now this one is again a balanced breath. So we're trying to have equal inhales and exhales. What's interesting about this one is that we're deciding which plane of the body is inhaling and which plane of the body is exhaling. So in yogic theory, we've got, the right side of our body being this divine masculine, the left side being the divine feminine, and we've got a lot of different nadi, or these energy pathways that go through our body. And so when we do Nadi Shodhana, we are balancing these two sides of our body, and the way we breathe dictates what we're trying to do. So there's a lot of different versions of this breath. Sometimes we're breathing just on one side, in and out. Sometimes we're breathing in on one side, out on the other, and then in on one side, out on the other. So you'll come across a lot of different ways to do this, because they all achieve different things. The other piece on this one is how we block our nose. So there's mudras that you can use. The one that I use most commonly is Vishnu mudra, which is my pinky, or my pointer finger and my middle finger down, my ring finger and my pinky finger released, and my thumb released. And then I just go like this. And I block my nostrils this way. But there's whatever feels right for you is perfect. You can even use like chin mudra, so just noticing what works for you. And you'll find a lot of different insights on the internet, and also just noticing what mudra you actually want to sit with in your practice, because this is an extra layer of intention, right? Vishnu is a deity that embodies this frequency of balance. Like it's said that he comes and incarnates on earth when we are in need of balance and things to be made right. And so I feel as though this is why this mudra was suggested to me originally, though I don't remember why, but I feel like it's just in alignment with Nadi Shodhana and how we're introducing balance into the body with the breath as well. So just noticing what works for you. And if specific mudras are distracting, then that's something that you might not want to use, right? So it's very personal. And so essentially, just let's say, for example, if if you take whatever you'd like, so if I take Vishnu Mudra and I block my left nostril and I inhale for a count of 4 through my right, and then I close both nostrils and hold for a count of 4. And then I exhale through my left nostril for a count of 4. And then I hold for a count of 4. And then I inhale through my left nostril for 4. Close both and hold. Exhale right for 4. And then hold for 4. That's an example of one round, of one version of Nadi Shodhana. And eventually, one can control their breath with their brain. So eventually, you won't need your hand to block your nostrils because you'll be able to do it with your mind. I am not there, but this is apparently something that's possible. So there you go. One thing at a time. But yeah, so that's one version of Nadi Shodhana. The last one I'd love to touch on is Brahmari or bee breath. And this one also has a mudra with it. And the mudra is Shanmukhi mudra. And so essentially you take your hands and you put them in front of your face, elbows point outward, in line with the shoulders. And with our thumbs, we close our ears. With our index fingers, we close our eyes, which I know isn't possible right now because you're looking at me, but we close our eyes. And then and lightly, right? This is light. We're not like pushing in our eyeballs. And then we place the middle fingers on either side of our nose, ring fingers above our lips, pinky fingers below our lips. And so essentially what we're doing with this is we're closing off our sensory organs, right? We're closing down our sensory organs. So we hold this mudra while we inhale and exhale the sound of a bee, a buzz, but with our mouth closed. So we inhale. And this is an example of one that is not even. We inhale. That's weird to put the mudra on when I'm already doing it, but that was difficult for me. But yeah, so set the mudra first, and then if you want, you don't have to use the mudra, but if you want to use it, and then essentially you just make the buzzing noise, and you can go as high as you want. And it actually sends vibrations through your body. This is a really, really good one for anxiety and stress. It's absolutely fabulous. And you can play with the different vibrations. Maybe you want to try a low buzz and see how that feels in your body and what is soothing you when.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel?
I love that. Definitely eager to try that one.
Yeah, that one's really fun. My arms get sore, so it gets distracting for me. I'm trying to kind of, again, right, this asana is actually meant to for these kind of things so that I can hold these things. So yeah, it's fun, and we just get to do it for longer. One thing that I do want to mention really, really briefly is just the layering of these tools. So it's the same with oils, like what Sheila, what you said about, working with an oil one-on-one to cultivate a relationship. I feel as though for me personally, working with breathing techniques one-on-one first, before I layer them on top of asana or before I layer them on top of meditation, helps me to cultivate a relationship with that breath so that when I go and use it on top of something else, I feel more secure in that practice. So that's me. That doesn't mean it's right. Just notice how that feels for you. I definitely invite you to bring pranayama out of these formal settings of ritual and start doing it when you do the dishes. Start doing it as you're chopping vegetables. Start doing it as you're in the shower. Like, these are really, really fun places to bring in that mindful practice, that, you don't have to set time aside. Like Leanne, what we had spoken about, about movement and that, and just noticing like when we can use these things when we've already got that time set aside in our schedule, and just how it serves us, how it can serve us. So, and just playing with these techniques and getting more used to them, seeing what they feel like outside of formal practice is fun as well. So with all of that being said, the tasking is posted. 15 minutes of pranayama each day would be very cool. You can try one, try multiple, whatever serves you. Share with us what serves you, what didn't, questions. One thing I'd really love for you to do is to book in a call with me. I've got a link in the group when it serves you that we can chat about, how this is all going, what can I do to serve you more? This is just going back to that piece about communication. I just want to really just give you the opportunity, like, hey, let's chat, if that would serve you. So please do that if that serves you. And other than that, that is week 5. How do we feel?
Yeah.
Great.
So good.
Beautiful. Okay, well, I won't keep you any longer. Please do let me know how this all goes for you. And if you have any questions, please ask. And incorporate the oils, right? You can put them on your chest, diffuse as you breathe, and just you can invite the plants to support you there as well. So thank you so much, each of you, for your time, and for everyone catching the replay. So much love, and let me know when you have questions.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Oh.
May I take one more minute just for us to give gratitude to ourselves for being here?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like that's an important practice before I forget here. So, okay, beautiful cleansing breaths as you wish, as would serve you. Reminding ourselves about urgency and about just the lack of need for it when we just take a moment just to be with ourselves, to drop into our body as best we can in this moment, and just to notice any sensations in the body that are present at this time. Gratitude for the body that we have and what it affords us. Noticing anything that's present in our emotional body at this moment. Not getting attached to anything, just noticing and feeling gratitude for the ability to feel. That we are able to feel. And that we are able to feel our emotion. Noticing what's present in the mind and thoughts. And feeling gratitude for our ability to think. And all that it has gifted us, this beautiful brain that we each have. And noticing what's present in the heart. gratitude for the heart as our guide. And gratitude for being guided to this space here and now. That we may share in laughter, that we may share in smiles, that we may share in experience and wealth of wisdom in this space that we each bring to the table. And just letting that gratitude be in the body, be in the heart, be in the mind. Maybe it even extends out into the energetic field and you can feel it, maybe even visualize it and see it around you. This little layer of gratitude, this buffer. Noticing if it has a color and texture. Letting it pervade your body and your energy body, your aura. As you thank yourself for being here now in practice with your fellow like-hearted beings. And releasing your awareness, noticing any facial tension that you're carrying, and just letting the muscles of your face relax as you start to perhaps introduce movement or deepen your breathing if that serves you. And just land in this space. Holding on to that gratitude, it doesn't have to go anywhere. As you're ready, just gently, no rush at all, blinking open your eyes. Letting that gratitude stay with you and be with you as you move out of our beautiful time together. I thank you all so much for sharing this space with me, for sharing your wisdom, and I look forward to hearing about your breathing practices, and I am sending you each so much love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Yay.
Be well.
You as well.
Bye.